Grand Rising, Brave Awakened Ones. It is January 24th, 2022, and I was guided to make this video for you guys to get you ready for what's going on, what's about to happen. It's very rough to make. It's very rough to hear. And but at the end of it, Yeshua, Jesus, gave me a solution to help everyone. Okay, so I'm a bit shaky doing it because this is, it's rough going through my NRVs, but I'm going to do it. So I was guided to go to this video first just to show you guys the date. This premiered February 26, 2020. And I was told to start with this because we're coming up. Oh, no, here it is. February 1st. This is the one? Is this the one? Where is it? Yeah. Well, this is going to trigger, is what's going to trigger the rest of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you. Oh, 555. There we go. Yes, that's the number I was looking for. 555. The big change. We all know what 555 means. Means tower moment. Kaboom. Tower moment. Death. Card. If you understand the energies of the tarot, it's a lot more than just talking about giving people the future, whatever. That's the least of what the tarot is about. They're archetypal divine energies, universal divine energies. So yeah, February 1st, 2020, we're coming up on a 2-year delta of this information that I had put out. Okay, that's why I was guided to look at that date, February 1st, because February 1st is around the corner, right? Next week. I think, is that the new moon in Aquarius also? I know the new moon in Aquarius is coming up. Shoot, let's look it up real quick. Sorry, I'm shaking hard right now. New moon. Forgot how to type. Moon 2022. Oh, yeah. Okay, new moon Aquarius. October, January. Oh, okay, 31st. 31st of the 1st, depending on where you are in the world. 31st of the 1st. Yes, that's the new moon in Aquarius, signifying entering, officially starting of the, well, the new age of Aquarius had started what, a couple years ago? Yeah, with the Great Stellium. Was that in 2020? But now it's like the physical manifestation of it. Let's put it that way. The physical manifestation of the new age of Aquarius starts with this new moon coming up, the 31st of the 1st, January 31st or the 1st of February 2022. Okay, the manifestation, the physical manifestation of it is starting then. Okay, with this new moon Aquarius. Hence why I was guided to this video. Again, deal with it. That's all I gotta say, because it is what it is. It is what it is. And no, I can't do anything about it. You could, meaning like get Team V together and try to, avoid all this stuff. No, I did all my work in the ethereal already. And believe it or not, we did our work. My team, our team did our work in the ethereal already when it comes to all of this, the awakening and the ascension. Now, with this new moon energy coming on, and especially by the 3rd of February 2022, all the planets are direct. It's all a go, okay? With the physical manifestation starting to really rev up and come through for those of us who already did that work. Or there's some later light workers who are still doing that type of work that we did, but we did the heavy lifting already. That's what I was about. That's why I was told to get Team V together to do. We did that since 2018. Okay. And we actually started doing that type of ethereal work in 2019. So we did 2 years of it. 19, 20, 21, yeah. So 2022, this is our time for building, because somebody has to, okay? Which is why I was told, again, why I took the last couple of months in December I wasn't even working, to travel up and down the East Coast, go see friends and family, to prep them for this time and to help them get on the right path. Was I able to touch everyone? No, I was not. Couldn't even, it's like my daughter backslid, but my younger sister had a great breakthrough. My normie BFF turned out not to be a normie at all. She had an amazing breakthrough, and it's still she's even shocked. She's just, you could have somebody who thinks a dang normie and are totally like, Jesus Christ, what is it going to take to straighten you up? And then you have this breakthrough, and next thing you know, they're just rising and rising and rising and rising and rising. And it's like every day they're blowing your mind. I mean, that is what I'm experiencing with my quote unquote ex-normie BFF, who turns out to be Lemurian. So you can be surprised, pleasantly surprised that way. Okay. So don't lose hope, But for some people who are still deep asleep and cognitive dissonance, it's like you're going to have to keep praying for them, but the main bulk of your attention must be focused on building, because once they wake up, hopefully they make it before the timeline split completely at the end of 2024, they'll be there and you'll be there waiting, moving on, you have to be there and build it so they can come any which ways. So enough delays. Let me get to business. NRV 64, Coast to Coast Uprising. I was told this Coast to Coast Uprising, which you guys know, has started. People are marching. And when I say coast to coast, I'm not just referring to America. I'm referring to around the world. You see the uprises. They're getting hard. They're getting strong. So because they're getting hard, they're getting strong. A lot of people are waking up right now. What is going to start happening? You already saw this. This started, a month ago, right? Started in the beginning of January, actually. And it's really revving up where they're pushing this now. They're pushing this hemorrhagic fever. And where is it starting? Again, as usual, in the East and in Africa. And of course, you have Brazil here, which they love to throw Brazil in there, which is what came from Brazil, but the Zika, another one. So you see, they're throwing out all different type of hemorrhagic fevers, viral hemorrhagic fever outbreaks, multiple. Yeah, well, they started quietly back in 2021, but it's like, oh, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. They were testing it. But now, up until 3 days ago, you see that? Now it's already in Brazil. It's made it over here in the Western Hemisphere, just like before. All right? Why did they choose this? Well, I'm going to take you, let's go down memory lane. Let's go down memory lane for all those people, especially people who I know, my own child, calling me crazy and stupid. Oh my God, why are you saying all this craziness? Oh, okay, it's crazy. All right, we'll see. What was Lady V back then, now Evie, Empress V, was talking about way back in June 7th of 2019. That's June 7th of 2019. That's right. Here we go. Listen up and look at the title of this video, this NRV 14. The overturn of Roe v. Wade. That is very tied into what is going on right now. What are they talking about right now? Let's look it up, people, for those who don't know. Overturn of Roe v. Wade. What is going on right now with that? Huh? All over the place. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, Roe v. Wade could be reversed. 49 years later. CNN poll, Supreme Court ruling on Roe v. Wade looms. Most Americans are... Yeah, right. No, they don't. All this stuff on Roe v. Wade. What's coming up right now? Roe v. Wade. A court in another I think it was was it Arizona, or no, it was one of those southern states that was it Kansas? Yeah, Kansas was one of them. Several, well, you see 20 states now seeking to limit, okay, Roe v. Wade. All right, so hence a trigger. We got the uprisings from coast to coast, from shore to shore. We have this going on, the overturning of Roe v. Wade. How does this all tied in with the coof and now this bleeding fever that's going on right now? Well, I'm going to show you. Here we go. Listen up and share.
It's like past the fourth month. It's going to be extremely restricted. It's going to be extremely restricted because I knew this since I was a child. I was shown this since I was a child. The soul occupies the body in the second trimester. Sometimes it might come.
By the way, you're going to see flashing lights behind me on my window behind me, and that's actually the helicopter, who you can't see because it's higher up. You can't see the helicopter, but you'll be able to hear it, and you'll see the light flashing on my window behind me, on my glass door behind me, and that's actually them shining a light on me. They do. That's what they used to do to me. I don't know. They thought they were going to scare me somehow. No.
I'm in on the third month. But 9 times out of 10, and I was showing this when I was 9, because of my condition, my condition as in, I can't carry twins. They're twins. My dad's twins throughout, identical twins run throughout my entire family. And twice I had 2 miscarriages with twins. And both times it happened in the first trimester, but I wasn't devastated by it because I knew since I was 9 years old that I was told my uterus is too weak to carry twins. Abortion would happen, and to not before the second trimester. Of course, there is a heartbeat, but the soul. The body has to form, the way it was shown to me, the body must form to where it's going to be before the soul occupies the body. Certain things have to happen for the avatar, which is the embryo baby, or our bodies. The avatar must get to a certain point before it's viable enough for the soul to occupy the body. And that doesn't happen until 3, 4 months in. Okay? So that's what I was shown and why I was shown it. So I had to explain that so you guys can understand why I was shown that when I was a little kid. So it's the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Okay? And the negative 4D beings, they actually depend on that energy. They depend on that energy, the deluge, the suffering of the children. And yeah, they do feel it. And I'm talking from somebody who saw a late-term abortion, who was there as part of my medical rotation. So, yeah. Why did I have to remember that? Not cool. So, yeah. I'm sorry. Trying to get out of that scene, get that scene out of my head. So the daily sacrifice shall be taken away. So that's their daily sacrifice. All those late-term abortions, that's their daily sacrifice. They that's how they keep themselves going. That's partly how they keep themselves going. So once that is taken away, once the overturn of Roe v. Wade happens, the abomination that maketh desolate set up. Now here's the really hard part. What is referred to as the abomination that maketh desolate set up. So the negative 4D beings are going to be mighty pissed off with that. Their food source being taken away. And the desolate. And here's a helicopter in my face, which I have not seen in a very, very, very long time. One of those black helicopters. You know, you guys know I always had helicopters right in my face, shining lights at me. Watch, it's going to make a U-turn. It comes from right over my building, turns around, and then settles right above the trees, right in front of me. That's what used to happen. It's been a long time. Welcome back. Okay, back to this. So Roe v. Wade gets turned over. That's what it's talking about with the daily sacrifice being taken away. And the abomination that maketh the desolate set up. The abomination that maketh the desolate set up. That has to do with depopulation. Okay? They're going to go hard. They're going to go in hard on this. And the way they're going to do it, the way it was shown to me, was I got to do how I was shown this was I actually, it was like a remote view on a different timeline in the future. That's how it was shown to me. And I actually experienced, like I still feel that dark agent. He was dressed all in black with a police hat on, with a visor. And he was holding my face like this and spraying stuff into my nose and mouth. I could still feel him. That's why I was coughing all day yesterday, because I actually was there in that timeline. I could still feel it. This is what they're going to be doing to people. Sorry, it's just difficult to deliver this. So it's via geoengineering and the spreading of disease. Geoengineering and the spreading of disease. They're going to have several methods of spreading the disease. Okay? And that's going to be lasting 3.5 years. Okay? It's going to be lasting 3.5 years, the geoengineering and the spreading of the disease. And I was reminded that I made a video describing when did the disease start spreading, guys? 2020, 2021, 2020, 2021, 2020. It goes until 2023, okay? Yeah. I know it's difficult to hear, but keep listening. This. Back, I made this video on January 10th, 2019. So my video made on January 10th, 2019, I'll put the link in the description. It's the one where you see all the white figures going into this white light. It was a vision I had when I was riding my bike on the beach, and I was guided to very heavy feeling came over me. I was shown I was going to be given a vision, and I laid down on the beach, and then I had that vision of I was woken up in that other realm, and I had all these people, and I recognized one of them all dressed in white, walking past me going into the ocean, and I asked where they were going, and they just said they decided to leave. It was time for them to leave. And for me just to go do my thing and don't worry about it, that they're choosing to leave now. So that they weren't ready yet. That's what the guy that I recognized said to me. I just wasn't ready yet. And just a caveat, the guy, in the original video, I described the guy. He's this super obese guy. He used to stand in the back of my dance class and, you know, just move his arms because honestly, he was like 500 pounds. That's the best he could do. And the connection there with him being super obese and being the ones
being part of the ones that passed, and the significance of him being the one that I recognize and stop to talk to, has to do with these diseases, with people like him, super obese people, being very vulnerable to those diseases. Okay, and what's the number one comorbidity for the COOF? Obesity, which is why they started that whole body positivity BS and pushing obesity on people. It's all connected. Keep listening.
I should have listened to you, but it's okay. Go do your thing. It was like the entire beach I saw of these people dressed in white, bathed in white light, walking into the ocean. So this is the time for it. And it's a 3.5-year period that's going to last. It's going to last a 3.5-year period. Okay, that's verse 11. And verse 12, blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 days. Again, that's like 3.6, 3.7 years, approximately, and that basically 2023. Okay, so by 2023, this tribulation will be over. Okay, so the next 3.5 years is when this tribulation is going to start.
This tribulation I'm referring to is the pestilence one, is the disease one. I know it's hard to hear, especially since, I was talking about it since January of 2019. But we're coming into the part where it's going to be the big waves of people marching into that ethereal forever ocean. Okay. So I'm just going to end on a high note.
Verse 13, but go thy way till the end be, till this is over. But go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest, and stand in thy lot, or stand in thy lot at the end of days. Okay, so again, keep going about your business, keep doing you, keep spreading the truth, keep ascending, keep awakening, helping your loved ones awaken, and
okay, so that's part one that you had to hear, and then part two, it's going to get a little tougher as we go. Remember, we got this coast to coast uprising. This is next. Now, this original video, as you can see, was made back in September 9th of 2019. And me doing this V-proof of that video was done February 26th of 2020. And that is when the COOF was just starting to make an appearance. Okay? Breathe. Take it in. I know it's difficult. Trust me, my stomach's in knots right now. Here we go. Listen up.
That's the way it's shown to you by my oversoul. Okay. Yes, I am feeling a bit solemn. I do sound a bit.
And FYI, all these videos were missing. 3/4 of my NRVs were gone. Ever since I became a top plaintiff in the big tech suit, the majority, not all, and not all my videos came back in one piece, but the majority came back. Especially this one. This one's been gone, but it's back.
Quiet for me because I've been grappling with sharing this NRV that I had on Thursday, last Thursday, which was the 5th of September. And I've been sharing, I have been a bit conflicted about sharing any more NRVs because I don't want people to feel low and down and like there's no hope or something, when it's really the reason why I was told to share it in the first place is for everyone, including myself, to have proof as to what is going on, to assist in waking people up into, what 3D has really been all about. Okay, so I'm going to share it. So the remote view, which is what my NRV stands for, because I involuntarily do remote views, been doing them since I was a kid. The remote view I had was, I was in this lab, and this was a hidden laboratory somewhere, but it was sponsored by some Ivy League school. I'm not going to give out the school's name. And what they were doing is they were changing the Ebola virus, which by the conversation they were having, it was made very clear to me that the Ebola virus is 100% man-made. And what they did was they took a virus, it was an animal virus, and then they manipulated it to become the Ebola that's terrorizing people now. And what's going on with the Ebola virus, what they were doing was, I saw them like cutting into the membrane of the cell, and they were injecting something else into it, and they were developing a new type of Ebola, which you're going to hear of rather soon, and it's going... Okay. I said Ebola, right? Here's the information on the Ivy League school. We all know what that was about, right? The biowarfare espionage behind the Chinese government's Wuhan lab is now coming to light with a federal indictment being unsealed on Tuesday. Now the Department of Defense and NIH have indicted Harvard's head of chemistry department and 2 Chinese nationals. One officer, sorry, I'm so shaky seeing this. One, an officer with the Chinese military, the other caught smuggling biological material. The Harvard professor appears to have been paid an amazing amount, it was actually $2 million, of money by the Chinese government to help establish the Wuhan lab, which is the lab where the virus came out of in Wuhan, and is alleged to have lied to investigators about his activities. The Harvard espionage indictment follows the discovery of Chinese nationals stealing virulent viruses from Canada's only biosafety level 4 lab and shipping them to the Wuhan lab. And, oh God, and then there's a smoking gun of the Wuhan laboratory's job posting the work on the bat virus infection with Ebola and SARS coronavirus.
Okay, why is this so important, especially the Ebola? What is Ebola considered? Okay, God, this is so difficult. It's part of the viral hemorrhagic fever family. There's many, and there's different types. See, all here. This is just A through H. All right. And Ebola, here's Ebola. Ebola is one of them. Okay. Here's even more. Here's even more. Yellow fever, severe dengue, Rift Valley fever. But as you see, Ebola is one of them. The way it was always shown to me is like Ebola is like the base virus that they inject all the other viruses, the spike proteins from the other viruses into. Okay. Oh God, like my chest is like tight right now. Okay, guys, here we go. More.
This is very emotional for me. But, yeah, honestly, I'm reading this, you know, be proofing it myself. And it's, I can sit there and say, why me? Why do I have to see all this stuff? As for the Ebola, this is why the Ebola died out. Well, let's keep listening to what I was saying, and then I'll show you what happened with the Ebola and why it ended up being coronavirus. To crop up in California, where all this pestilence is coming up, for goodness sakes, leprosy, the Black Plague. All you see, California is the food, and it's going to crop up in California. What's going on with the Ebola virus, what they were doing was, I saw them like cutting into the membrane of the cell, and they were injecting something else into it, and they were developing a new type of Ebola, which you're going to hear of, and Corona rather soon, and it's going to crop up in California, where all this pestilence is coming up. For goodness sakes, leprosy, the Black Plague. Oh, you see, California is the pits of hell. It really is. California is the pits of hell. From all the stuff that was going on there, and, you know, Hollywood's right on the 33-degree ley line. But it's all California, from Northern California all the way down to Southern California.
Ley line.
Where they have all these diseases, the plague, that Black Plague that has been gone for centuries. And, you know, it's part of the book of Revelations, right? With all the plagues coming back, which is also part of the end of the Kali Yuga, which is the worst part. Okay? And what they were doing with this Ebola virus is that they're making it so it will react to their vaccine. They're making a vaccine to get rid of Ebola. So they're making this new Ebola virus, and from it they're deriving their vaccine that they're going to add on to the whole list of vaccines that they want children and people to get.
Now, why is this Ebola vaccine so important, and how is it connected to this bleeding fever that is now spreading on the west side of the world, now via Brazil is coming to the east side when it comes to the vaxes? Okay. Prevention and vaxes, Ebola vax. December 19, 2019, they came up with an Ebola vax. Now, God, I had put this all together before. I'm having a hard time talking about this, guys. You know, it's not that easy, to say the least. You can read up on this. I'll put in the article. I'll put all this in the description. You can read up on this, man. It's very difficult for me. So yeah, it's all connected. And when it comes to signs and symptoms from this, it's exactly the same as radiation poisoning. Okay? God. In the stick in the arm that's being given, what I was shown is people are getting radiation. Okay? The more sticks in the arm, the more the radiation, and it's not normal radiation. This is something different, man. And I've seen radiation poisoning face to face. I've had to recover patients with radiation poisoning. I had to see people die from radiation poisoning. Okay, as recent as a couple of months ago. Okay, so this is something I have been seeing for the past 18 freaking years. Okay, so what they're doing is slowly radiating folks. Okay, and the more you get it, the more sticks in the arm you get, the more you're going to show the sickness with the sticks, from the sticks in the arms. Now, what are the symptoms? The same symptoms that these so-called bleeding fevers have. What's in the stick in the arm? An attenuated, so to speak, a weakened, they say, but it's a spike protein. It is the actual Ebola, Frankenstein, virus. Okay, so the signs and symptoms that are going to be shown are the same. All right, what are the signs and symptoms? You have bloody stool and urine. Okay, nausea, vomiting, body aches. Like I said, I'm having a very difficult time. Here we go. Fever, aches and pains, severe headaches, muscle and joint pain, weakness, fatigue, sore throat, loss of appetite, gastrointestinal symptoms, including abdominal pain, diarrhea, vomiting, especially bloody, tarry stool, blood in the urine, unexpected hemorrhaging, and bleeding and bruising. And what causes that is bone marrow suppression. The bleeding and the bruising is caused by thrombocytopenia, which is the suppression of platelets production in the bone marrow. Okay? Radiation sickness, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, fever, dizziness, disorientation, weakness, fatigue, hair loss, bloody vomit and stool from intestinal bleeding, infections, low blood pressure. Again, why is that? Why does that happen with radiation poisoning? Suppression of cell production in the bone marrow, especially thrombocytopenia. Okay? Same thing. So they can call it whatever the heck they want. And right here, they're telling you, many common illnesses have the same symptoms as EVD, including influenza, flu, malaria, typhoid. You might as well throw the Rona in there. It's right here, right in your face. So if they think I'm fact-checking me, shoot, I'm using your own damn information. This is the CDC website. Okay, let's go back to this. For anyone who wants to call me a crockpot, 18 years medical experience, thank you very much. 3 degrees, and including holistic health practitioner certified, okay? So there you go.
And it's going to roll out in California. And, you know, it's going to start out being voluntary, but then they're going to really start trying to push this Ebola vaccine in Cali. Okay? Yeah, so the actual
Ebola-derived vaccine.
Virus cell that they were manipulating, and it's like, it was like I was almost in one of the scientists who was doing it. So that's what's going on with that. Yeah, there's California's like ground zero for all these diseases in the United States. They want to introduce into the United States to spread their disease, to spread, you know, to kill off as many people as possible, on top of what is going on when it comes to the earthquakes and the volcanoes that are
erupting volcanoes.
Now, Ebola vaccine. And this is right off the CDC government website. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA approved.
We just went through this, okay? Again, you could read it or go watch this original video, which I will link in the description, okay?
The WHO website, they want to put that underneath my video. Okay, I'll read your information. Like I said, Jabber, you are literally digging your own grave. On this website, you can find information and guidance from WHO, the WHO, okay, World Health Organization, regarding the current outbreak of coronavirus disease. That was the first reported from Wuhan, China on 31 December 2019. So after Ebola didn't take off in December of 2019, they had the coronavirus ready to go in December of 2019. Okay? And now what's coming out? Oh, same formula. Coronavirus, scientists race to develop a vaccine.
A vaccine derived from the Ebola original virus cell with the spike proteins of all these other diseases added onto it. That video is still missing where I really describe how it was done with the HIV and blah, blah, and all that.
Same shit, different smell. But we smell you.
Now, when it comes to California, like I said, ground zero in the U.S. for it. San Francisco just declared state of emergency. Okay, like I said, you could, I think this is just the same thing.
So the remote view, which is what my is Ebola virus.
Okay, that's just me repeating the same thing. Let's see what else I have here.
And the Kali Yuga, which is the worst part. Okay. And what they were doing with this Ebola virus is that they're making it so it will react to their vaccine. They're making a vaccine to get rid of Ebola. So they're making this new Ebola virus, and
yeah, a new Ebola virus, which is the what we have right now, the coronavirus. And now it's going to, people are going to start exhibiting signs and symptoms, and it's actually due to the radiation building up in their systems from this stick in the arm, but they're going to call it something else. See what I'm saying? You see how they're playing this here? Because the more stick in the arms, if the heart issues don't get you, the radiation will. And it's the majority of the people who got all these, you know, added on boosters after boosters who are going to fall victim to this.
And from the deriving of their vaccine, they go that, and it's like it was like I was almost in one of those people as possible.
All right, that's it. That's it on that one. So, yeah, you could. I'm also going to link this one, which is the 5G connection, the dead man switch, literally. And we know, like, there, you know, people who understand how deadly this 5G thing is, are doing everything they can to stop it, because what's it's going to do with what's in the people's systems who got all the sticks in the arm and the extra sticks in the arm, it's going to really trigger them. Total breakdown of their system, and then they'll be calling it a bleeding fever. But it's not a bleeding fever. None of this is the bleeding fever. It has to not, this has to do with, in the past month, what they've been talking about with this bleeding fever spreading all over the West, and then now it's here on the east side of the, it's spreading all over the east side of the world. Now it's on the west side of the world via Brazil. Okay, coming up, that all those people coming through the borders to the U.S., well, here we go. This is what they're supposedly bringing, but it's actually reactions to the stick in the arm and the extra sticks in the arm, and then the energy switch that's going to be switched on with the extra G's. Trying to speak in code. So yeah. So I want to end this on an up note. That's an up note. What made me do this entire video was a deep meditation while I was still in bed. I was woken up at sunrise by Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and he was telling me that a very cheap solution to help people who have these symptoms of the radiation sickness, to stick them in a tub, a full tub of warm water with 2 parts baking soda and 1 part organic apple cider vinegar with the mother. That's what it's called, apple cider vinegar with the mother. Okay, and that's 1 cup of that and 2 cups of the baking soda. And I was shown somebody in the tub and like these squiggly things coming out of the person's body, it being drawn out of the person's body. And what's drawing it out is the baking soda and then the apple cider vinegars going in. killing stuff. That's the way it was shown to me. Okay. And you soak for like an hour. Okay. And for it's good for all ages. Let's put it that way. And for small kids, it's a half an hour soak. This is not medical advice. This is something I plan to do for my loved ones who fall into this situation. Let's just put it that way, okay? I'm not telling you to do anything. It's on you whether you do it or not. Disclaimer. So that's what I saw happening. And then I was told it could be done until the symptoms subside. So it works rather quickly. 1 to 3 times I was told it can be done for an hour soak. Many people have noticed, and I was told by a friend, that baking soda is disappearing from the shelves. And this is why. They know it's the cure. It's part of the cure. So stock up. C60, I still have my C60 stocked up for my loved ones. That's like, I was told, like the first line of defense to help really repair the inside of the body. But this is like going to be really needed also. It's going to really help with those symptoms and help the person. And you could throw the C60 in there. If you have it, it's rough. It's tough to get a hold of. That's why I told you guys 2 years ago to do it. It will help heal the internal. Can you still heal the internal by organics and good vitamins and stuff like that? Yes, you can. Okay. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with everyone. I will put all these links in the description, and it's the worst of times and the best of times, depending on where you're standing right now. Let's just put it that way. All right. So much love. Hang in there.